This is going to be a short presentation on the importance of setting and adhering to your schedule during your clinical rotations, as well as a very important review of policies pertaining to emergency absences. Keep in mind that Kaiser University requires that students set a schedule with their clinical site in advance, preferably in writing, so that everyone is on the same page in terms of your schedule. Avoiding consequences of absenteeism. Missing scheduled shifts can cause you to fall behind in your required hours, as well as the acquisition of the skills necessary for the successful completion of your clinical class. It can also damage your credibility in your healthcare community, result in dismissal from the clinical site, and/or lead to disciplinary actions from the university. Establishing professionalism and responsibility. Remember that you're not just completing your clinicals. Your adherence to your schedule and how you conduct yourself on site speaks volumes about you as a future healthcare professional. Students are required to set an agreed upon schedule with their clinical site and adhere to the schedule strictly. Arriving on time as scheduled demonstrates to the office that you're reliable and that you're committed to your work and learning. It also demonstrates your appreciation for the time and resources the office is dedicating to your learning. Also, time management is a required skill for anyone who is going to work in the healthcare environment. Adhering to your schedule during your clinical rotations is not only important for ensuring the continuation of your clinical rotations and successfully completing your class, it's an important step in honing your time management skills and preparation for paid employment. Also, keep in mind that you've already begun building your professional reputation in the medical community where you live as you start your clinicals. Not only might the clinical site be a potential employer at some point in the future, but when you apply for a job after graduation, many employers will expect, at a minimum, for you to provide a contact and reference from your clinical site. It's incredibly important that you're doing everything in your power to create a positive professional reputation in your community. Adhering to your schedule and attending your clinical site is imperative for the hands-on practice that you need to work in the medical field. While you learn theoretical and didactic skills in your online classroom, the time that you spend at your clinical site is equally invaluable in preparing for your future profession. Consistent attendance at your clinical site is an important aspect of performing the skills for the benefit of receiving feedback and guidance to learn and grow in your technical skills. It's important to remain open and appreciative of guidance provided. Regular attendance is also going to increase the likelihood that you'll encounter a wider range of skills necessary toward completing your clinical skills checklist and preparing you for paid employment. Handling emergency absences. While we do require that students adhere to their schedules strictly, we do understand that in some instances, an emergency might arise. If you are ever going to miss a scheduled shift, there is a process you must follow. Number one, you must communicate with your supervisor or contact as soon as possible about the emergency or tardiness. Keep in mind, you do not want to call or text outside of appropriate hours. You can send an email at any time. However, if you're going to be calling or texting, please make sure to do so as soon as possible, but certainly not in the middle of the night. For example, if you find out overnight that you'll be missing an 8 a.m. shift, 7 o'clock in the morning would be an appropriate time to notify the office. Second, you also must notify Kaiser University at the email address clinicaldocs@kaiseruniversity.edu, providing a reason for your absence or tardiness and confirming whether you've already notified the site. Lastly, you also want to make sure to apologize for any inconvenience your absence or tardiness may have caused, communicate with the office, and set up a schedule to make up any missed hours. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope that this is helpful in adhering to your schedule for your remaining clinical hours.